Welcome to Combat. Hey guys, it's CL, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I make brand new Critical Role recaps every Monday at noon, and would be happy to have you join the party. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe and hit the bird bell to be notified of future videos. Now, without further ado, let's discuss the 61st episode of Campaign 3 of Critical Role. As I said at the start of the video, we pick up right where we left off last week. Fighting! Yay! I think combat's just one of those things that's hard to recap. The joy comes from watching it play out. But I'll give you some cliff notes in case you don't have time to finish the episode. Prism is able to summon a Bulgura to the battlefield after Mother Baby birds some blood from Bordor's hands like a pelican skimming the ocean surface for... What do pelicans eat? Fish? Doritos? I'm gonna go with Doritos. Skimming the ocean surface for some Doritos, and the Bulgura appears and teams up with a new special summon on Laudna's end. Recalling the Sun Tree in Whitestone, the tremendous loss through her life, the gallows, the loss of her life, she curls into herself and her ribcage splits open, and a hellhound bursts out of her chest, targeting the Judicator. I love how Marisha's been taking these story threads and aspects and infusing them into new abilities, like her form of dread taking on inspiration from the Sun Tree. I love it. There's a hilarious scene as the Bulgura and the Hellhound chest bump the Judicator to death by being bros. It's so funny. In one desperate plea to her god as they're taking out Kiro, the Flame Guide, the Dawn Father himself sends a Dawn-born angel into the field to protect his followers, which Bordor brutally kills with an inflict wounds while holding onto the angel's head, leading to some ramifications I'll talk about later. After their enemies are defeated and the guards are round up, Prism and some of the others pull coin and ledgers and papers held by the temple, and the temple actually begins to collapse as the wood spirits wish to reclaim its land. Prism and Ashton give out the coin that had been taken as tithe back to the town, and the people let the guards go who hurt them, all of them except one disappearing into the forest to return to Vasselheim to report what happened, the youngest staying behind to repent for his actions. Good job, kid. That night, the party stay with Joan Abedina to rest and get to talking about, well, everything. Everyone's kind of wondering, did stopping that temple help or hurt what they have going on in stopping Predathos? Orm's having a really hard time, choosing to spend the night alone up in a tree as he ponders his role in today's events. I guess part of him considers himself into gods or maybe a follower of sorts, his sword gifted to him by a god being a big thing, and he has a very candid conversation with Laudna and Bordor at different points about his fears of doing the wrong thing. But Bordor, who's been kind of racked with guilt since murdering an angel, decides to stand by the fighter, claiming that what they're doing is good. They need to stop lewdness. They need to stop Predathos. Under the watching eye of Denise, Joan speaks with the rest of the group about how the Eidolons and the Earth Spirits don't feel threatened by Predathos. And neither does the Raven Queen, it seems. Prism says the Matron of Ravens has a penchant for doing the opposite of what she says, and part of me wonders if that's arrogance. I mean, she's the only mortal to have ever ascended into the godly ranks. So does she view herself as better than the rest of the deities? Does she consider herself more powerful since she was able to kill a former god to take his place? So she doesn't think something that could kill the gods very easily would kill her? Does maybe she not view her magic as divine? Maybe because she came from an Arcana-related background, she's not shaking at the idea of the divine beings in the world being devoured. What do you guys think? I just find it off that she was mentioned exclusively. Ashton also is having some trouble. They feel small, powerless, not important enough after realizing that they were finally seen by a god. They're not just a random speck on the world. Joan also singles them out, curious about their elemental nature and the side of their head, which she doesn't have any answers for. We're so caught up in all the shit going on with the moon that sometimes I forget their whole backstory is just a big question mark right now. The only advice Abedina can give to them is to speak with the spirits. Maybe they hold some answers. They're far older than the rest of us. Laudna and Prism go through the papers. Finding the land not staked by the Valley Coalition yet, the Flame Guide and her followers were building temples and moving their influence outside of Althansia to these places. Most of the reasoning being because they know that Hearthdale and places similar will soon be of magical interest, as they're nexus points. They'll only change in the next Applebee Soul Cycle. So Hearthdale, in a couple hundred years, is going to be very similar to the site that Ludinus set off his weapon. The next morning, Abadina uses her scrywell to help locate our group's friends, and it succeeds for the most part. Though Bordor is unable to get an image of his brother without having an item that's personal to him, Denise gets lucky and is able to see Dariax, who's in a strange cavern-like place with Dorian. Maybe they got teleported somewhere together, as it doesn't look like they're in Zephyra. And finally, Bel's Hells find out the other half of their party are safe in near Uthadurn, with a weird robot and a lady who knits. But anyway, that's a long ways away from Isilra. Imagine if they had scryed the night before, like during the werewolf fight, or maybe the threesome scene. I would have died to see the reactions as they tuned in on Chetney and not having a clue what the fuck is happening. Joan advises them to journey 4 or 5 days north to the depths of the Irium Canyon, where they'll find a blue flora-covered shrine, run by a powerful archdruid named Hevestro, Hierophant of the Emerald Tree. They may be able to teleport them to their friends. Summoning a wind cougar spirit to lead them there, the party split with Abadina. Let me know your thoughts on the episode, and tell me some of your theories on Ashton. Talison's characters always have incredibly intricate and tangled backstories, so I'm really dying to know more and, what's going on. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and check out my recaps of Campaign 3 on my channel. Thank you so much for watching, stay safe out there, good day my friends.